what's up? It's Sean Baligian.
What up? This is Joique here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. What is up? Glad you could join us wherever you may be. It is a Motivational Monday.
Motivational Mondays.
That's what the man came up with.
Motivational Mondays.
That's the man, Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. Look, I love talking to you guys after wins, okay? Yeah. Yesterday wasn't a win. Many different things went into that recipe for a loss. He pointed something out that I'm not sure how many people caught on to. We're going to get to that in a little bit. Make no mistake about that. But if you follow him on Instagram, Joique, is that something you noticed like right away?
Right away.
No kidding.
Yeah, you notice it right away. But I'm not going to give it away. We're going to let him play the video. If he can you pull that up?
We're going to have Corey? That for you. Corey, you give a thumbs up when you got that, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, life is difficult enough as it is when you're facing Aaron Rodgers, who, I'm going to say it again, he's one of the best quarterbacks you'll ever see.
Period.
Don't take my word for it. There's a guy that played against him.
Hey, man, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks I played against.
Ever. Seriously.
No, and I played. The things he's able to do on that football field is remarkable. How one man can change the dynamic of a game is remarkable. When we played Green Bay Packers, when they had Aaron Rodgers, it was always a dogfight. But whenever he wasn't on the field, we was able to kind of run like the game against Thanksgiving game. Like we was able to run the scoreboard up. But when earlier, I think in the season we played him, it was a totally different Packers team. And so that guy's amazing, man.
That's no doubt about that. You know, the thing that drives me nuts is like that third quarter. I'm sure you guys all saw what happened. The Lions didn't have the ball. The Packers put together those two drives. How about this, Joique? 26 plays, 154 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's a tie game, and they come out there, and he looked like a surgeon on those 2 drives. And, you know, unfortunately for the Lions, they had the 3 and out between then. All of a sudden, it's 28-14. I mean, and it's a totally different game, man.
Totally different game. But you know what, though? I really liked what I saw out of the Lions towards the end. They fought.
I want to ask you,
and I wasn't mad at their play. I don't think they were giving up. They played better than what a lot of people thought they would play, especially in the predicament that they're in now. They came out, they played hard, they made some big plays. It was a couple plays that I liked it. I like Hawkinson, but it was a couple plays where he should have made catches that he didn't, that I was kind of disappointed in. And when you lose, catches like that are magnified. If you win the game, it's not that big of a deal. But when you lose certain games, you can't drop certain passes. Like when Stafford gets hurt and you're one of our playmakers and then Chase Daniels comes in and puts the ball right on you, you have to make that catch. I don't care if it's, you get both hands on, you got to come down with it. But, I like him. He's very talented. But in those particular moments of the game, especially against a divisional rival, you have to make those type of plays. That's hands down, point blank.
You know what? The natives are already going nuts on Facebook Live. Make sure to follow us. We like to be interactive with you guys. Charlie said good morning. Jenna said good morning. Kenny said another Lion loss Monday. John said Stafford doesn't have enough weapons. That's an old school reference. I'll explain weapons to you. I'll explain it to you. Steve said, can we do Lions haiku? Now, years ago, Joique, this is before your time. When I was doing the radio show, I used to get tired of ranting and raving and blowing a gasket when the Lions really sucked during the Millen era, right? So I said, we have to think of a different way to show our frustration. Let's do it through poetry. So people would do Lions poems after losses and talk about how ticked off they were, how pissed off they were.
Right.
So then it became Lions poems, Lions limericks, and Lions haiku, and it really took off. Now Lepins, during the Millen era, they talked so much about how many weapons.
Let me take a guess. Let me take a guess of what it. I don't know. Is it like Lions and weapons put together?
Yes.
That's what it is?
Yes. You got it. I said I'm banning the word weapons because I keep hearing about how dynamic this offense is. And this offense is so explosive. Just wait till you see it, right? And then fizzle, fizzle, fizzle. So I said, we are not using the word weapons. It doesn't exist because the weapons don't exist. So I started using the word Lepins instead because the weapons didn't exist. So I said, let's call it Lepins.
Okay, that's different.
And yeah.
You know, and I thought it was a misspelled word, honestly. I thought that's what it was. I think it means weapons.
So yeah, those are the bad old days. The decade of despair. It was, I don't even know how to explain it. My mind's going back there right now, and I'm starting to get depressed like you wouldn't believe.
So how was your first weekend off from Hoover Sports? How was it?
It was good. You know what? Saturday, we blew up to Frankenmuth. I think I told you that's like our family tradition. Like before Christmas.
Did you go to the world famous chicken spot?
Yeah. And unfortunately they're not sitting anybody, so we got it to go. It's only like where we live. It's only about an hour, right?
Yeah,
you just blow up 23.
Okay.
It's not far from Saginaw Valley. And you know where Saginaw Valley is. Yeah, it's not far from Saginaw Valley. It's maybe 10 minutes away. What up? I got the you see what I'm doing? I'm up in the W today. But yeah, we blew up there, so it's a great time. You know what? When the kids were little, I convinced them that Santa Claus was from Frankenmuth. That's where he, grew up and everything.
Right.
So that's always going to have a special place, in like my kids' lives. And even though they're 21 and 15 now, that's like one thing. Like during the holidays, even with their lives, their significant other, whatever the case may be, they're like, no, we're rolling up to Frankenmuth. So, no, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Tradition, though.
Yeah, that's our thing. That's our thing.
So how did you come up with that, though? Is that something that you did when you were younger?
You know the show Santa Claus is Coming to Town? You know that Rankin Bass, the cartoon where they explain how Santa and Burgermeister, Meisterburger and all that? Okay, it's this famous cartoon that's, played for years and everything.
Sorry, guys,
no, it's all right. It's this famous cartoon that played for years. And basically, this town looked like Frankenmuth. It was like Germanic.
Okay.
And so I told the kids, I said, this is where Santa was born. Oh! So, and they got the Christmas store up there, Bronner's. Yeah. So we didn't roll into Bronner's because, they're limiting people in there, right? With the COVID and all that.
Right.
So we didn't roll in there. We had to drive by it because there was a line. It's pouring rain, and there was a line around the building just to get in. So we were like, nah, but it's nice to go up there, did a little shopping, got the chicken to go, came back home, had it. Yeah, it was chill. Dude, you know what? I mean, and I know you can relate. You can't put a price tag on the family time. You just can't. This time of year is so busy for me. And, I had to work, heck, we're on the air with the Lions at 1:30 yesterday. I got off at 9:30. So, I'm gone all day Sunday in essence. So, yeah, dude, it was chill. It was nice. It was nice.
That's good.
What about you?
So the whole family's coming up Tuesday. So grandparents, siblings, parents, nieces, nephews. I mean, everybody's coming up, and there's about to be a zoo at the Bell residence. So there's gonna be a lot of fun.
So how many people?
Close to 12.
Yeah.
Around 12.
Are you cooking?
I might cook breakfast. Okay. I'm like a French toast kind of.
You like French toast? I've heard that somewhere before.
And so, honestly, I think we can have we'll have a cook-off, and we'll have some people debate who has the best French toast. It's and it's simple. Simplicity is key. All right.
I agree.
You don't have to do anything extraordinary. Just do the regular things extraordinary well. So for me, French toast is like my go-to for everything, and they love it. So I think on the lazy days, I might just throw some biscuits in the in the oven, and eggs and bacon for the family, sausage or whatever they want, chicken sausage, whatever. But no, this weekend for me, Saturday, Friday was a chill day. Saturday was a shopping day, and Sunday was a shopping day. Trying to finish up on my Christmas shopping, and Sunday was a major fail. We went to Great Lakes Crossing, and it was lines wrapped around every store. A line to get into the store, and the stores that didn't have lines to get into them had lines wrapped all the way around to the back at the checkout counter. I said, God, this is an Amazon Prime Christmas. So I went back home, and I got a couple of items from there, but for the most part, everything is coming from online.
See, what we do, it's funny you say that. That's why I gave you the smirk, because my kids and I, we pick a date, like a couple months ago, and we say, this date at this time, we're going, and we're just going to get it all done with. One fell swoop. And the one thing that we learned is never go on the weekend. Never go on because it's a disaster. So literally tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, my son Jack, my daughter Lauren, and I, we live just a few miles away from 12 Oaks Mall. Give yourself a 3-hour window. Say, we're getting in, we're getting out. And it's almost like we're making a game plan, Joique.
But do you guys know what you're getting before you get there?
Yeah, we make a game plan. I kid you not.
Okay.
We make the game plan, and it's like, all right, Jack, you're going to this, and this store because you got to pick up this for Mom. You got to pick up this for Lauren. You got to pick up this for your girlfriend. All right, Laura, you're getting this, and I'm like, okay, I got to get this. I know Mom loves this store. So there's one gift she knows she's getting every year and all that stuff. So, it's one of those things, Joique, honestly, like you said, it's 3 hours. Let's just get in and get the hell out because it's chaos.
You know what? That doesn't sound like a bad idea. You know what sounds like a great idea is going to a website, say, here, son, go in here. This is your limit. Get whatever you want. Boom. When you're done, call me in here. Let's go through the list. And that's what I'm about to. This is getting to that point, right? It's getting to that point, and not just because of the lines, but just because of the economy right now. Just come. Let's order everything online, and then we'll have it shipped, and it's the safest way. And so we're gonna do it this way right now.
Jenna said gift cards. Everyone gets gift cards. You can't go wrong with gift cards.
Oh, you can't.
You just can't.
Gift cards to where though?
All right, Jenna, what's your crew into? Jenna, you're going to have to tell us, what's your crew into?
Because you have some people, you got people that are Macy's people. You have some people that might want to go to Marshall's. You have some people that might want to go to Kohl's. Like, what gift cards are you getting them?
Nordstrom.
Yeah. Nordstrom.
I have 2 people. If I get a Nordstrom card, they're cool.
They're cool.
Bam, cool. I'm done.
Well,
that's it. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
For a guy like me, it's like, go to the butcher. Seriously. Buy me a gift card from the butcher. I'm cool. I get to go pick out some meats. Okay.
What's the best gift you ever gotten for Christmas?
Wow, that's a big statement. For Christmas?
And we can separate it from childhood to adulthood.
When I was a kid, anytime I got a Nerf ball was the greatest day on earth. I kid you not. The brand new Nerf ball, because you had to go outside immediately. It didn't matter what the weather was. You knew, like on Christmas morning, the 2 guys that lived closest to me, there was an even money chance by 8:15 we were going to be on one of our lawns firing the new Nerf ball around. So anytime I got a Nerf ball, it was unbelievable. But I don't know. I'm not a person of want or need. So you know what?
What I get for Christmas?
What?
I get the saying, we don't know what you want. You have everything. You're so hard to shop for. We don't know. And so I end up always getting something sentimental. So I would say, one Christmas, I got a calendar with my son's pictures on it that I have in my office still to this day, even though it was from a couple years ago. I still keep it in my office, and then I also have a custom picture frame of that he did for me. And so those are the 2 things I have kind of in my house that means a lot to me. So
they did a video for me last year. My son is in film. He's a senior at DePaul. And they did a video for me last year where they took clips, unbeknownst to me, all year. And they did this year-long video of things that we did as a family.
Right.
And listen, okay, you guys get ready to laugh if you want. I broke into tears when I saw it. It was so thoughtful.
Right.
It was just,
those are the best gifts.
It was all these moments that I didn't even know I was being taped. Yeah. And they were all in on it. The 3 of them were all in on it. So, for the year, they're like, oh, we got to show you something, Dad. And I'm like, what the heck? What are you showing me on TV? And then, you're watching this video, and I was like, and it was just things like, oh my gosh, I forgot that we did that. Or I forgot,
yeah.
And the family
memories.
vacation that we took, they The whole time they were taping me, and it was funny. They were all in on it. I was like, how the heck did you guys keep this from me? You know, so that was, you're right. That was, it was touching. It got me like right there.
I got you right.
You know?
A little choked up, huh?
Right?
A little choked up.
I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. Jeff said NHL N94 and NHL 95, best gifts ever. Okay, back in the day when I was gaming like crazy, you bring up a good point. Because, you know, we all go through our periods. I mean, we still play now, but, you know, at one point in time, you were, mad about it, and it was what you did all the time. So if you got me like the hottest game, that was, I just knew all day I was done.
It's funny, we just talked about gaming out there with Art. We about to get it started, so I think we're going to do Christmas Eve.
For real?
I think we're going to do Christmas Eve. I think we're going to go live on Twitch. I think I'm going to try to get a guest on there with me to kind of, you know, we're going to try to spice it up a little bit. So I'm going to reach out to that person probably sometime today. I'll get them to come in. Art's going to have his team. I'm going to have my team. And we're going to go after it. We're going to get after it.
Oh, I got to watch that. I'm going to be busy cooking. I cook for normally between 30 and 40 people. This year's going to be different. We're only going to have, I think, 13 people over.
Yeah.
But dude, all day long, Joique, that's what I do Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve day, it's like I tell my family, 8 o'clock in the morning, just give me this area. Give me this area in the kitchen. Just stay out of this area. I'll talk. We can commiserate, all that stuff. But I'm cooking. Just this area right here. So I love it. I fire up the smoker. Oh,
good.
Got a big old brisket on there.
Big old
Serving
brisket.
some brisket.
You still on that brisket? You still on that smoker diet?
Love it. Absolutely love
it.
it.
So here we go. Back to Sunday. So we finish shopping. I go home, and then I order food, and then I sit back at the fireplace, kicked on. I'm laid back in my chair, in my recliner, and I'm watching the Lions game versus the Packers. And then all of a sudden, you have that play yet? Getting together right now. All right, we're still waiting for it, but it was towards the end. I think it was a 2-possession game, and I think we went down, we scored, and then we came back for the onside kick.
Had to get the 3. Had to take the 3 to make it 31-24.
Yeah, we had to take it, so we scored, and then we came back, kicked the onside kick. And we actually got the ball back, right? We actually got it. And initially, I thought Killebrew stepped out of, I didn't think he was 10 yards when he grabbed the ball, but when you watch it, his foot was right at 10 yards when he grabbed it. Now, what they were trying to say is that his left foot went out of bounds, right, before he stepped at 10 to get the ball. And if you watch this clip, I put on my Instagram story that the only angle that you can get of a clear angle of his foot was from our sideline view, right? From the sideline view. And so on the sideline, you have this yellow line that goes, it's probably about 5 yards back from the sideline, from the out of bounds line. And every player should be behind that line at all times, unless you're going into the game. The only person that should be in front of that line is the head coach. Even the coaches and assistant coaches have to be in back of that line. But this particular play, over half the team was past that yellow line, and the only view we could get of his foot was being blocked by the players and the coaches. And so they didn't overturn it because there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. And now you put the game in the hands of a Hall of Famer against a Detroit defense that's struggling right now. And that's the last thing you want. And they end up getting the first down, they run the clock out, and they end up winning the game.
I had no idea. I didn't catch any of that. And when we get that video up for you, trust me, I mean, that's a perspective, that's a view from a guy that played the game, that's been there and done that. Because I'm like you, and I'll even go back to the Marvin Jones catch, okay? Do I think it was a catch?
It was a catch.
I think it was a catch, okay? The issue that you have is you guys know the routine. The call on the field is going to stand unless you can prove 100%.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt that it was a catch or it was a recovered onside kick. And that's what sucks. And I had this debate each and every week. And it was funny, Joique, because somebody actually accused me of being pro-Packer yesterday. Because I said, I'm sorry, they're not going to overturn that. And he was like, oh, so you're pro-Packer? And I was like,
no.
Is this your first time through the rodeo, man? This is.
I'm not gonna lie.
It has to be definitive. That I don't like it, but that's the way it is.
That pass could not have been in a better spot to only outside shoulder, make a receiver, turn to the sideline and catch it back shoulder. And the ball couldn't have been anywhere else. And if you look at the play, unless, he turned his back and he kind of bobbled it when he hit the ground, everything looked like he secured the catch, both feet were down, and it should have been a touch. But, hey.
Frustrating. Corey, you let us know when you get that IG thing up because it is beautiful. Steve said something. I want to make sure that I get some of these comments in here and appreciate you guys showing some love. By the way, my buddy Mike, using his wife's Facebook, said, I know a guy, French Toast Challenge accepted.
Let's do it.
We should do a French Toast Challenge. Absolutely.
I see a person says that it's 13 people that you're cooking for, but you're still cooking for 40.
Oh, absolutely.
Christy says 13 people, but you're still cooking for 40.
Mike, no, that's like I said, that's my buddy. He knows that. I'm cooking for 40. That's just the way it is.
Shout out to Christy.
Steve said just not enough talent on the defensive side of the ball. Steve, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, it's not.
That's something he and I talked about last week. I've been talking about it on Lions radio. This isn't being mean. This isn't taking a shot. No. But when you look at them defensively, I mean, think of yourself as an offensive guy like Joique. You're sitting in your offensive meetings, you're preparing for the game, and you look at what's on that defense, and you say to yourself, boy, we got to look out for nobody. I mean, really, that's the way it is. I'm not dissing them. They're my team.
They're our team.
But there's work to be done.
Understand this. We're not attacking the players as men. We're not attacking anything. We're just stating the facts of the play. We're talking about the play, not the player.
Sure.
All right. And so as of right now, if I was on offense and I was playing against the Detroit defense, I wouldn't look at our roster and say, let's put emphasis on this one guy right here.
Yep.
Now, it might be some trash talking that goes on during the game or before a game that might put somebody on your radar, but that's about it.
Demetrius said the difference in the third quarter when Green Bay put together an almost 9-minute drive while the Lions went 3 plays and out. We can't get any breaks against the Packers and the damn refs. I brought that up, Demetrius, earlier. I mean, if you want to know what the difference in the game is, just look at the third quarter. You had the Green Bay Packers put together 2 monster drives for 154 yards and 14 points, and sandwich in between that was a 3-and-out. Unfortunately, you're just not going to win football games like that. Joique, here's the thing, though. I want to get back to something you said, and this is not a moral victory, okay? Because we're so past the point of moral victory in the Detroit Lions. This is not a moral victory, but I'm going to accentuate something that you said earlier. Yeah. They're playing differently.
They are.
They're playing for this guy. They were going through the motions for a few weeks with Coach Patricia, and it was almost like, especially as soon as adversity hit, it was like, oh, shit, here we go again.
Reality set in.
Yeah.
Because as players now, it's 2 things. It can be 1, all right, we want to play for this guy. We want him to stay. We see that they fired the GM and the head coach. We love Bevel. Let's play for Bevel. And then 2 is, well, if they got rid of the coaches, the head coach and the GM, they'll get rid of me for sure.
Yeah.
So I need to step up to make sure I have a job next year. And so it's 2 things. And so a reality, it sets in when there's some furniture moving, all right? When there's some furniture moving, like reality sets in, it becomes more real. So I like the way they're playing, and they're playing with more of an urgency now. They're making more plays. Like I said, I'm not mad at their play for yesterday. They did better than what I thought they would.
It's interesting moving forward, and obviously we're all going to have to wait to see where they draft. Unfortunately, there are a lot of crap teams this year, so this could be a situation where this pick isn't as high as we think, even if the Lions don't win again. I mean, that's as crazy as it is.
You don't think they'll be top 10?
They might not be. It was funny. I was looking at something on Tankathon today, where they project and all that stuff. If the Lions don't win out, if they lose the remainder of the games, and of course there's only 3 games left. So you got Tennessee this week, then you got Tampa on Saturday, and then the last game of the year against the Vikings. If they don't win out, it's projected to be right around pick 10 right now. And the reason is there are so many teams in the league right now with 4 or 5 wins. You know what I'm saying? So that's the concern. Now, if they win a game, like let's say they beat the Vikings, because no diss, I don't expect them to beat Tennessee. I don't expect them to beat Tampa. Can they beat the Vikings? Yeah, I think they can beat the Vikings. If they beat the Vikings, well then, Joique, there's a real good chance they won't be in the top 10. But you know what? I want to dig a little deeper because offensively, and that's your forte, Joique, I like a lot of the pieces. I like the two guys on the line. I mean, you have two studs on the line. You really do. In Ragnow and Decker. They're studs. I mean, those are guys that, in my opinion, are going to anchor your line for years to come. You got a budding star in Kenny Golladay. You have a budding star in TJ Hawkinson, you know, who really took a big step up this year. You got 9, presumably being the key and operative word. You know, would I bring Marvin back? I would. Will they? I'm not sure at that age, you know, but a guy that you played with, I think Marvin Jones keeps reminding everybody how good that guy is.
How old is Marvin right now?
32, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to look it up. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to look it up, but I believe he's 32.
No, I think we bring him back, man. I think he's good in the locker room. I think the players respect him. I think he knows how to prepare, and I think you look at that receiving core. I think they need somebody like him in the locker room.
He'll be 31.
He'll be 31.
He'll be 31.
Yeah. So he has plenty of time. He has another contract.
So you know, so here we are. There are good pieces on the offense. Okay, legitimate weapons, not weapons. Legitimate weapons. And then unfortunately, on the defensive side of the ball, you know, who do you look at and say, my man's got it done right now? I think you have two corners that have potential. You know, I really do. I think there are two corners that have potential that have, at least with one, has shown potential. And if you get any value, I mean, he's a 5th-round guy out of Penn State. If you get any value there, that's great. I'm still not mailing it in on Okudah, but the rest of the defense is like, okay, what do we got?
I mean, we don't have that Darius Slay. We don't have that Quandre Diggs. We don't have that Ndamukong Suh. We don't have that Ziggy Ansah. We don't have those guys right now. You know what I'm saying? So those are blue players, what we call them. So those are the blue players that we're talking about. DeAndre Levy, when he's healthy. Like these are the type of guys that you have to game plan around because they're everywhere on the football field, or they're just dominant.
Yep.
You know, Suh was just dominant. You know, so we don't have that now. I don't know if we will have that, but I tell you that the Lions are playing better, and so we'll see what happens.
Corey with a K, E Woods. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. We got that video yet, Corey?
We got the interns getting on.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let me explain this because somebody said if we lose out, I think the Lions could get a top 5 pick. Well, anything can happen, okay? But let me explain the scenario to you and take a look at this. Take a look at the standings. You can follow along at home. You got the Jets with no wins. You got Jacksonville with 1. You got Cincinnati with 2. You got Carolina with 4. Atlanta with 4. Dallas with 4. Chargers with 4. Houston with 4. Philly with 4. The Giants with 5. San Francisco with 5. Denver with 5. Detroit with 5. You've got 13 teams. 13 teams all within a group of each other, okay? So what I'm saying, especially on the Lions on the one side, you could legitimately be around 10. I mean, that's crazy. You know, you could go 5-11 and still, you know, be 11 or 12 or 13. You know, if we're playing the if the season ended today game. Right. There are 13 teams there. And that's what's crazy about this. And I go back to last year, Joique. It's not often that you get an opportunity to pick that high in an NFL draft. So you got to make that pick count when you do, man.
You know what, man? The draft is a tricky thing because, like you say, you're always betting. You know, sometimes you pick high, you get a Patrick Mahomes, and you pick high, you get a DeMarcus Russell. So it's a tricky business, and it's numbers, right? So it's a lot of guys who might have got drafted low or who didn't get drafted at all, who panned out to play longer than the guys who got drafted the first or second round. Now, mind you, the guys who get drafted first or second round, they have the limelight on them, so they can't make any mistakes. But at the same time, they get more leeway. All right, it might not have been too good his first year, But you see how he pans out his second and third because they paid the man. And so this is the business of it. You have a guy that's a free agent who, he might not be as good the first year, but he has to come in and he's like, well, we might give him a second year. You don't have the luxury to not come in and not be good half the time. You have to come in, you have to produce, you have to show growth, or it's minimum liability, so they can let you go with and that's this game, right? The being able to make these decisions, and as a scout or as a GM, when you bet on a guy, you get him for cheaper than what he's really worth. Now you look like a.
I was thinking about you. You're gold to an NFL team, and what I mean by that is, you know what? Here's a guy that can come in and produce. We saw him produce. Yeah. Anybody who watched him knew he was going to come in and produce. Yeah. But you're going to get that opportunity at a lower rate. But you're hungry. You're going to show everybody what you can do.
Right.
And if you show everybody what you can do, that's the bridge to your next contract.
Yeah. It's not two things. You're going to have that chip on your shoulder. You're going to take it off. You're going to eat it. Or you're just going to let it sit there and just kind of fizzle away. And so for me, I always wanted that challenge. I always wanted to be out there. I always wanted to kind of showcase what I can do in front of not only the GM, but in front of the fans. And I think that was a major part. Like, I get wind of some of the things that goes on in the front office of certain teams, and I say, wow, that's really how it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would have people when I played for New Orleans, a good friend who would kind of be in those meetings would kind of say, listen, they're going to give you the ball, they're going to give you the rope, you're either going to take it and you're going to pull the team, or you're going to take the rope wrap around your neck and hang yourself. And so, but they're going to put the ball in your hands. And so that's when the last preseason game on the Saints, I started, and I played well, and that's when I think that was a game that solidified them keeping me on the team in New Orleans. And so it's
that was a sick backfield, by the way, for people out there that don't know.
Don't know. That backfield. I had no place then on that team at the time. No place. I mean, you had just drafted Mark Ingram, you had Chris Ivory, you had Pierre Thomas come off the Super Bowl ring.
Sproles, right?
Yeah, Sproles. Yeah, Darren Sproles they had just brought in. A funny story about Sproles. I actually was number 43 in New Orleans. I was number 43. And Sproles came in, but I was on the roster. I actually made the team, so he couldn't take my number. But he came in, he said, listen, I need 43.
You made the offer? He made the offer?
Yeah. He said, and so I said, listen, you want this? You got to pay me. You want 43? You got to pay me. He said, that's cool. I'll take you out for a nice dinner. I said, a nice dinner? I said, a nice dinner? So I talked to Coach Sean Payton, and Sean said, listen, he said, charge him, but don't hit him over the head. I said, okay, I won't hit him over the head. So I charged him I said, listen, you want 43, you got to pay me this amount.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It was, you want this number, what is it worth to you? And we ended up swapping out. And I'm still waiting for my check, though. I wanted to give it to him anyway. And I had went to number 20. And I went to number 20. And people always ask, why did you go to number 20? I said, because I'm second to none. But it was just a joke. It was just a joke. So I went to 20, gave him 43, and we still joke about it to this day.
So Sproles stiffed you?
Yeah, he stiffed me. I need my money,
We're putting out the APB. Come on, Sproles, you're better than that.
I know where you are. I know you're in San Diego living it up. Living it up. I'm going to get him on the show, though. We're going to get him on. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I'll call him out. Come on, Sproles.
Yeah, pay me my money.
By the way, you know what? If Stick gets a chance, Stick, if you're listening, or really Chrissy or Joey, one of you guys come in, because we want to talk about what's going on here and what's around here. And Joique is being pretty cool about something, too. We want to tell you about that. We'll get that Instagram video that he put up as well. But if you didn't know what's going on right now at Woodward Sports, and maybe the cameras are picking this up, we look like a winter wonderland, like Santa's Castle right now, which is really stinking cool. And this is the charity and the heart of viewers and listeners out there. And I mean, again, as somebody who has 2 children, I can't tell you how cool you guys are for doing this, and a great idea by this guy. No doubt about that. But Stick, tell everybody what's going on and how people out there can help.
Corey, am I on over here? You got my mic on? Perfect. There we go. So we're doing a thing. It's called Stuff a Studio, and this started literally 20 years ago. I did this at Oakland Mall, and it was called Stuff a Bus. And we lived in the Oakland Mall parking lot for an entire week collecting toys. It was brutally cold. We were living on a bus. Buses are not comfortable, but it was so much fun. It's how I fell in love with radio, really. And I went out to Grand Rapids a couple years ago. We started it out there, and we were the single largest toy donor for all of Kent County to the Salvation Army. So when we got this beautiful studio right on Woodward, it's a lot nicer to sleep in this studio than a bus, living on it for a week. But we're stuffing this studio full of toys for an entire week, and Meijer was gracious enough to kick it off with $5,000.
Awesome.
We went on a $5,000 shopping spree at Meijer. My God. $5,000 at Meijer gets you all this. Like,
Right.
It's crazy how much stuff we have in this studio right now. So me, Joey, and Chrissy, we're going to be sleeping on that couch tonight. We're going to be watching movies. Like, it's going to be a lot and fun.
There's
Let's
nothing wrong
go.
with that. Christmas.
I love it.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So can people bring stuff down, or are we asking people to help out here?
We are, and around the clock, too. That's why we're doing the sleeping in here, because, we got some overnight workers that get
Listen.
off to work at 2 a.m.
This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
Oh.
Whoever brings in a gift down to Lady Jane's, what's the address of this?
It's 349151.
The Birmingham location, Lady Jane's.
Yep.
Come in, drop off a present, take a picture with Sean and I, and let's have a good time. So we want to get as many
Do
presents
it.
as we can.
Yeah.
We're taking pictures. We're playing. I talked with Art. We're gonna have a.
I heard about that,
Yeah,
man.
we talked to Art. We're gonna have our Christmas Eve gaming.
sesh?
Yeah, streaming sets.
Nice.
And we're gonna go off. We're gonna play Call of Duty. Follow us on Twitch. I think the Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports on Twitch.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a whole E-Stream team that does that. We're going to be giving away that PS5 too. That's not one of the donations. Meijer gave that to us to incentivize people to come here. So
Let's
we're going
go.
to give that away too.
You're giving it away.
Yeah, so if you want to qualify, bring down a toy. We'll throw you in the mix for the PS5. We'll be here around the clock. I think it's awesome that you guys are opening your doors too. And it's just fun, man. And if you're afraid to show up because of social distancing and all that, just pop some money through a Venmo. It's real easy. It's Woodward Sports on Venmo, even $5. We'll head to Meijer and we'll get the toys for you. So,
Period.
however you guys want to do it. If you want to just drop the toys out there, knock on the window and run, you can do that too. Like, we want to make sure everybody stays healthy. These are going to children at the CS Mott Children's Hospital too.
Beautiful.
For sure.
And they can't have a lot of visitors this year because of COVID, and so it's really kind of a somber time around there. They don't have as many donations as they normally do, so we got to get behind this.
If you're working from home, as I know a lot of people are doing right now, listen, lunch break is coming up. Pop down here, maybe not today at this late juncture. Do
Right.
it tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, Joique will take a picture with you. I mean,
Hey,
just
nobody
come down
wants to
here
take
and
a
help
picture
out
with
any
me.
way
Everybody
you
wants
can.
to take the picture with Sean. Come on, Sean's the talent here.
I'm lucky enough to see you both every single day,
Poor
and
guy.
I love it. Having
Poor
you guys
guy.
on the Woodward Sports Network.
No,
is
thank you.
awesome.
This is a blast, and this is awesome what you're doing, and this hits home for me because as a father of two kids, thank the Lord they've been able to have great Christmases and everything,
Right.
and they've been healthy. Some kids aren't that way. So if you can help out, anything you can do. These guys are putting in the work. You know what? That would be fun, though. Could you imagine, like, watching Elf up here or
That's what
something?
we're gonna do, man.
Home Alone. How
Watch
cool
it
would
out.
that be,
Funny.
right?
We actually
Football.
just watched. I actually just watched Elf with my daughter like a couple days ago.
Love that movie.
Love it. With hot chocolate.
Yeah.
She has her own little couch that she has that she
Okay.
loves to sit in. So we put it on top of our couch and she just sits there and she watches it, and we have our hot chocolate. We toast with it. It's like that. That's like that's quality time that it's priceless for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
priceless. For
Can't
me.
put a price tag on it.
That's what you want, man. This is that time of year. Feel warm, fuzzy, get the
Yeah.
family together, and just do good for people if you can.
Amen.
That's it.
Yeah, so come
Thank
on
you,
down.
guys.
Make sure you support these guys in the morning. Watch them every morning. They're a blast to wake up to. And if you get an opportunity, as you heard Stick say and Blake saying here, you can donate money to Venmo at Woodward Sports if you can't get out to donate some toys. But if you can get out, we'd love to see you down here. Joique will take a picture with you. That's cool. Whatever the case may be, we'll make sure that the toys get to a needy kid.
Yeah, and also if you're not doing well this year because of COVID and stuff, it's something as a simple share on this Facebook Live to tell people about it and get it to somebody that can show up and present a toy. Like, you're helping in that way. So don't feel, oh, I don't have any money, I'm not helping. Like, there's ways to help. Just like this, just share this, get the word out, and that helps more than you could possibly know.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Great. No, looking forward to it. No, see, you know what? All we need is a little snow coming down and maybe, that Christmas Eve on Woodward Avenue song. And we could sit here and watch Christmas shows all day, man.
All day.
I could show you Santa Claus is coming to town and the Burgermeister Burger, right?
Right. For sure. I grew up on Home Alone.
Oh, that's great.
So I love Home Alone.
That's great.
Frosty the Snowman. What that? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are the things I used to love to watch growing up as a kid.
Yep, absolutely.
For sure.
And it's funny, I tell my kids all the time, now you got, let's see, you got Freeform's 25 Days of Christmas, and you have AMC's Best Christmas Ever, where they show all these shows almost on continuous loops.
Continuously.
Right?
All day.
And it's funny because when we were growing up, if you missed Rudolph, like Rudolph was on Thursday night at 8 o'clock, that was your only opportunity to see Rudolph, man. You weren't seeing it again on television, unless you bought the DVD or in my case, the VHS,
yeah.
right? So, it's kind of funny because it's like I've seen Christmas Vacation probably 5 times already. I've seen Elf like 5 times already.
Right.
The one that we haven't seen, my kids and I all make a plan. Like, we pick a day where nothing's going on. No, Polar Express. That's the one. We all sit down, like there's one night, it's on at 8 o'clock this night. All right, clear the schedule. Nothing's going on. We're watching Polar Express.
You know what it is? I actually like that movie, but my daughter doesn't like it. It kind of wears her out. I don't know what it is. She doesn't like it.
Yep.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Really?
I don't know why. I might be the characters and how I don't know. She doesn't
Yeah,
like
maybe the animation.
Yeah, I don't think she likes the animation for that one.
Yeah.
So she doesn't watch it. But I remember I was a VHS kid as well. And so I remember we had Frosty the Snowman and we lost the tape.
Oh.
And I remember I was going through like hundreds of tapes trying to find it, and sometimes it wasn't labeled. So you have to like put it in and see if this was a movie. And if it wasn't, I'll take it out, throw it back, and I'll keep looking and realize I kept throwing the same tapes that wasn't back in the same pile. And so I was kind of, just going, I guess, retracing my footsteps or something. So it was like I wasn't getting anywhere. But I lost that tape and never saw it again. But luckily we have YouTube.
Yeah.
And somebody uploaded it up to YouTube, and now I can go back and watch it whenever I want to.
Brilliant. Absolutely. By the way, we might not be able to get Karen Newman to say Christmas Eve on Woodward Avenue. Maybe we can get Jenna Newman. Jenna, would you come down here and sing that song for us?
Jenna's not coming down here.
Jenna's always participating in the show. We really appreciate that. Said, helping the kids, let's go. Steven said, a Christmas story. Sean, who spells his name the right way, said $15 Venmo sent. SEAN.
We appreciate that.
Thank you
Santa Claus
very much.
Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen by Blake. Tim Allen, a Detroiter himself.
I love the Santa Claus movies.
I do. I didn't realize how old it was.
Yeah.
It came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that.
You know which one I really like? I like Santa Claus 3 with like Jack Frost, where Martin Short plays Jack Frost.
I haven't seen
and
that
he's a dick. There's no other way to say it. I mean, that's a good one. That's been on the Christmas channels this year quite a bit. Santa Claus 3.
Oh, shout out to my sister Ambi. What's up? Love you much. Another movie that came out that's a Christmas movie that I like a lot is The Guardians.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah.
The Guardians.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
I like that. I think the evil guy, it might be a little bit too much for my daughter right now, but I'm going to try to introduce it to her and see if she likes it. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen, it came out a couple years ago. I think it's a couple years now. It's called Claws, with a K, Claws.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, my daughter like turned me onto that one. It's cute. It's a new one that kind of flew under the radar, and it was like, this is pretty good.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's a good story. So
check it out.
Jenna said, I'll be in this week to pick up a donation from Stick and to bring toys for the kids, but I don't want to scare anyone with my singing. That's great. Max said, I always try to catch 'Twas the Night Before Christmas with the Clockmaker and the Mice.
Somebody said Die Hard. I think that's a Christmas movie.
Even a miracle needs a hand. See, Max, I know that. You know what? Can we get into the Die Hard conversation? Because I'm telling you, I want you to think about this, all right? The night that it's happening is Christmas Eve, right? That's first and foremost. John McClane wouldn't be at Nakatomi Plaza without it being Christmas Eve. Further, he doesn't shoot Hans without what? The Christmas wrapping. Remember, he put the gun on his back with the Christmas wrapping when he went like this to surrender himself.
Yeah.
I think you add all that up, and I say, it's a Christmas movie.
You think so?
Yeah, I think when you add up all those variables, right? The Christmas wrapping is what saved the day. Remember?
Let me rewatch it, and then we can reconvene on this conversation. Somebody said that is the Guardians the one with the huge jack man as a kangaroo. I think he is. Mm-hmm. You have the kangaroo. You had the rat. Or is that the rabbit? Mm-hmm. You had the Sandman.
Yep.
With the dreams.
Yep.
You had Jack Frost.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yep.
I forgot who the evil guy. Yeah, Santa Claus. And you had. I think Santa Claus was jacked up.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
He was.
Yeah. Santa Claus is jacked up.
Sean said Claus is on Netflix. You and your daughter watch it.
Okay.
It is very entertaining. I knew the diehard people would come in. Jenna said it is a Christmas movie. Derek said it's definitely a Christmas movie. Stick even chimed in. It starts at a Christmas party. Of course it is. Sticks. Yeah. That's my argument all along. John McClane isn't in LA. Isn't at Nakatomi Plaza if it's not Christmas Eve.
So Joshua says that him and his wife just watched Die Hard as part of their Christmas movie list. I guess I have to go back and rewatch it. I have to go watch it.
You know what? I used to be one of those guys not that long ago where I'd say, stop it, that's not a Christmas movie. But then it was like my son and I had like this philosophical conversation about it, and like we both looked at each other and we were like, I guess we kind of got to call it. Because he doesn't kill the bad guy without the Christmas wrapping. If it's not Christmas, he doesn't have that wrapping to attach the gun, to his back. So when he's like this, and he, boom, boom, and he goes, yippee-ki-yay, like that. It's Christmas, man.
Do it again. How do you do it?
Yippee-ki-yay.
We need to have you in the next Die Hard. We need to put you in. I think the next time they do a cast call.
All right, Corey, you got that video, by the way. So I've been hyping this video. This is great analysis from Joique. If you didn't check this out, follow him on IG. I'm not on IG. I'm only on Facebook and Twitter. But he showed me this IG video. This is Joique's. This is basically a live reaction to what went down at the end of the game yesterday, right?
It's the live reaction. And mind you, you have some players who play the game that aren't really, they're not really that big into like the going crazy. But like, no, I'm still a fan, so I still kind of go off on the TV a little bit. But with this video that we're about to show you, I kind of kept my composure and I kind of edited it. I edited it to make sure my point got across without me being just an angry fan.
All right, you ready to go? Let's play it.
Run it.
I want people to understand this. So when I play football, if you guys see, there's a yellow line right here on the football field that every person besides the head coach should be in back of. If you look right here, everybody, probably half the team is past that yellow line. And I want to show you why this is so important. You have people going up and down the sideline the whole game telling the whole team to bag back. And this is where discipline comes into play. And so I want people to understand this. The only view to overturn this call is from the sideline. They can't get a clear view right here. They can't tell if his foot is out of bounds right here. They can't see it. But if you have all the players in back of that yellow line, look at it. This is the only view they have. And they can't see it because we have bodies. You have bodies blocking the freaking view of his left foot because we're undisciplined to stay back past the yellow line. Get your... Now look, now they got the ball because there's no clear view to see if his foot was out of bounds. Shake him.
Analysis.
Yeah.
Way to go, dude.
Yeah, broke it down, man. Broke it down. And it's plays like that or it's situations like that that can determine a football game. Small things like that. And even like I mentioned on the video, getting that view doesn't mean they're going to overturn it, but it gives us the opportunity to know if we get the ball back.
Absolutely.
We go down, we score. We don't know, we might throw it. We don't know. But because we're not disciplined in the things that we're taught during the week, playing however many games we are into the season, you know that you're supposed to be behind that line. Now, as a player, sometimes the game is really intense and like we're cheering on our teammates, so we get past it sometimes. But sometimes that can cost you a game.
Is there a designated get the hell back guy? Is there a guy that's supposed to say just get the hell back?
So it's a guy that they assign that task to, but there's no one on payroll telling people to get back. Like when I played, it was Ted. It was our weight room trainer.
Okay.
And if you watch it, he has a YouTube clip out of him keeping because he's the head weight trainer for the Chargers now. And if you watch him, he's in charge of keeping the team in back of the line and even the head coach off the field. And so it's like a tango with him and the head coach, like, okay, back. And he's literally grabbing him because he's going to run into because you want to be so close to the game because you want to be into the game. So you're not thinking about this yellow line when you have to win a football game. But it's things like that you have to be cautious of because it can cost you a game. And for me, in my opinion, that was one of the plays that wasn't even on the field that cost us the game. So it's a lot of things that happen during the game that you can go back and watch film, say, do this better. But like I said, when you lose a game, it put emphasis on all the small things that you really don't think of during the game. So.
You know what's interesting too, Joique, is what people don't realize is, and I'll use a couple of your coaches as an example. Coach Caldwell had a guy that literally helped him with time situations in the last couple minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many things going on, and there's basically, he's got a guy that in essence is acting as his clock next to him and letting him know, all right, we got to do this, we got to do that. And I wish that somebody was next to Coach Schwartz on Thanksgiving to maybe stop him from throwing a challenge flag when it would do nothing but hurt the team.
Living in the past.
That pissed me off. Joique, honestly, that was I don't have many temper tantrums anymore, but that was a moment where I had a little mini temper tantrum. I got to be honest with you. I've grown up.
What's mini for you?
I don't throw things anymore. It's more, beep, 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 and things like that, and just like letting out that.
What is beep, beep? What does that mean?
Swearing.
Swearing?
Mother, beep, beep, beep. Like it was one of those moments. Like it's like, what are you doing? You're hurting the team. So
I just want to hear you say it.
If you had your boy there going, Jim, don't throw it. Coach Schwartz, don't throw it. Maybe that would have saved things a little bit.
It was. I think we had a situation where we had a situation like that with Coach Caldwell, and I saw him reaching for the flag, and the only thing I could think about was that. Yeah. And so I was saying, like, Coach, hold on, Coach. But I don't think he had his hands just ready for it just in case. I said, Coach, they're going to replay it. They're going to replay it. Don't. And then he was like, I know, I got y'all, I know. And I stepped back. But I love, so those are things about football that can cost your team a game. And that was that Thanksgiving game?
That was Thanksgiving against Houston.
And we lost 24-21, correct? We know that was 2012.
Or was it 34-31?
No. It was a.
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
27-24, something like that.
Yeah, it was overtime, right?
I don't think it went overtime. No.
All right, I'm gonna look it up. Now it's gonna drive me nuts. But talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Yeah, real quick. But the times with Coach Schwartz were great times, man. He He was a feisty coach, man. I enjoyed playing with Coach Schwartz, man. I felt like we were able to play like with that type of Detroit grit and just be. I think that was our coach at the time, just to be just nasty between the whistles and just physical and taking no prisoners and even if you guys won a game, you guys are gonna leave out beat up. So that's kind of what that was like our mentality.
34-31 in overtime, November 22nd. Yeah. Gosh, damn, that just. You know what the thing about that year was too, Joique? You guys were 4-4. And then had that losing streak to end the year. And it was just like, how did that happen, especially after what happened in 2011?
Sean just proved me wrong, and he just going to walk over just like.
No. Give me a break. You know me anyway. I just retain stuff.
So what was it?
34-31. You guys lost in overtime. You guys were 4-4 that year and ended up 4-12 after the playoff year. It was weird. It was because you know the thing that I remember is all the close games. You know.
And we had a lot of. Do we have a lot of blue players? On defense that year.
Yeah,
we did.
You lost an OT to Tennessee, a touchdown to Minnesota.
That Tennessee. No, it's not. We're going to talk about that.
All right, we're not going to talk about that. You lost by 6 to the Bears. I don't want to look at it. It pisses me off.
No, listen. That year, no lie. I think we lost like 5 to 7 games by a touchdown or less.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So it wasn't as if we weren't in the games. I would rather have a team beat me by 25, 30, and you guys just outplayed us than to keep losing games by 3 points, 6, 7, 5. Like, those games hurt because you're in them. Like, you have an opportunity to win. And like that Tennessee game in overtime, we're down by 2 scores with like 18 seconds left in the game.
That's right.
We go down, we score with Nate Burson, I think it was Nate B off a slant, and then we kick an onside kick, get it, and then throw a Hail Mary, and Titus Young catches it in the end zone. We go into overtime.
Yep.
And now we're going down to go score again. It's 4th and I believe 1, and it was like a miscommunication with the snapping count. And we snapped the ball and fumbled the ball on our 30, and we ended up losing the game. We ended up losing. That was heartbreaking.
You know what's funny? Is as bad as it was in 2012, you guys flipped the script under Coach Caldwell. 2016, every tight game, you guys found a way. You know, when you came back and everything, I mean, that was the cool thing about that team is – there were games where you guys were the ones that were breaking hearts, and that was cool about that team. And it was unfortunate because I remember people were dogging on Coach Caldwell at the time, saying, "Well, why do you find yourself in these holes?" And it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, it's a good question, but this team keeps digging their way out of these holes as well. That was kind of fun to watch in 2016. We were talking about that year yesterday on the air because it was you had a feeling that you guys were going to find a way late. Because it happened so many times, and that was kind of cool to see.
But that's every year with the Lions, they find a way at the end.
Yeah.
Even in the 14 season, the 15, they always find a way at the end.
9.
You got to think, it's 9. I mean, it's just, I don't know, just the urgency for the Lions heightens when we're down in the 4th quarter and we know we have to do this in order to get this game won. Like the game against Miami, I think that was 14. Go down to I think we go down and 9 finds Theo Riddick in the corner of the end zone to win the game. Walk off.
That was great.
Walk off touchdown. It was great.
Yeah,
so
it was right around this time of year, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it a December game? I just remember dumb things like that, man. Yeah. All right, lots of comments. My wife and I just watched Die Hard as part of our Christmas movie list.
Yeah.
Joshua said Die Hard basically starts with Run DMC, Christmas, and Hollis playing. Nick said, love the show, but I'm a huge Packers fan. Go Pack, go. Hold that thought, Nick. We're going to get back to you. Sean said, I'm down for playing Hans Gruber. What a great villain. Hans Gruber was just a great villain.
I haven't seen that movie.
Die Hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, you good dude. Christy said, nice hoodies. Yes, I got them for my friend Mike.
Once.
I'm buying those for my buddy Mike. So that you can hook that up as well. Just go to woodwardsports.com, click on store. They've got some great gift there. Let's see. Anthony said, hello, gents. What's up, Anthony? Kenny said,
Batman Returns is the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
isn't that with the penguin, right? Is that the one with the penguin?
Is that the one with the penguin?
Is that the one with the penguin and with Catwoman? I think that's it. Steven said, I was at that OT game in Tennessee. Greatest comeback I've ever seen. Heartbreaking ending.
Heartbreaking ending. Heartbreaking. And I think that might have followed us into the next week. You know,
Yeah.
I think that had to follow us into the next week.
That season it was.
It's games like that we had that year that, you know, when you look at a team's record, you don't look at how much they lost by. You just know they lost.
Yeah.
Like, and if a team is winning, you don't go back and say, well, they beat this team by that much, or they won that game. Even if you won by 1 point to 40 points, you won. You don't really go back and look at the score.
I want to ask you something. I've been a firm believer of this statement, and you just brought something up, so this is going to pop in my head. I've been a firm believer of you are what your record indicates. Do you agree with that as a player? You guys were 4-12 that year. You were better than 4-12. I'm convinced you are, but you are what your record indicates. Do you agree with that?
At the end of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
You're only as good as your last game. And the team is only as good as their last season.
Oh, it pissed me off too.
Yeah.
Because you guys got so good. And, man, I really thought, Corey, I don't know about you, like after 2011, and Joique, I know you joined the party late and everything, but after 2011, I thought, onward and upward, man. It's happening now. Corey, did you feel that way? Because 2011 kind of turned so magical, and you know I always go back to that Christmas Eve game against the Chargers, and yeah, you didn't beat New Orleans, but don't worry, their time is going to pass. Our time is coming, man. I really thought you guys were on the cusp of something. I got to be honest.
You think so? We had a nice team. We had a good team. We had a lot of blue players. We had guys like Sue. We had Louis Delmas. We had Levy. We had Stephen Tulloch on the defensive side. We had Nick Fairley. I think we had Big Corey Williams. Do you remember Big Corey?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I think we had, who else we have on the D-line that year?
He had just left, right? I think it was his last year. Averill, Uncle Cliffy. Didn't he leave after 11?
No. He was there in 12.
Okay, he was still there in 12, and then he went to Seattle?
Yeah, I think he went to Seattle in 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you guys had... There was some talent.
We had some talent.
There was some talent.
Offense, we had, we still had Big Dom. We had 9. We had Titus Young, who was playing high. Let me see, you had Calvin Johnson. You had Nate B. You had Kevin Smith. You had Michaela Short. You had me, Keelan Williams. Tight end, you had Pettigrew. I can't remember who else we had at tight end that year. Can't remember.
No, nor can I.
Yeah, it was Pettigrew, but we had
Pettigrew, Scheffler.
Yeah, we had Tony Scheffler.
Tony came. Yeah, Tony came.
We had Tony.
That's right. Yeah.
We had Tony. Shout out to Tony. So we had, and Tony was more of he was like our route running receiver, and tight end. And so we had some players, man. We had some dogs, and we just couldn't figure it out at the end,
All right, so a few comments, and I want to get back to the Packer fan as well. Anthony said, serious question for you both. Do you guys believe in the Lions curse? Ford bought the Lions the day JFK was assassinated. There's been a bad omen over the Lions ever since. And then I don't know if this to be true, so I'm going to let you speak to this, Corey. But Kenny said, I believe Corey is doing an everything is show about the Lions curses this week. Are you doing a show about the Lions curses?
We are definitely doing a show about Detroit sport curses this week on Everything Is. We'll be airing this Saturday at 11 a.m. We're going to be talking about just a lot of the Detroit sports curses and just throwing out a whole bunch of different theories. So
is it you think it's the Bobby Lane or you think it's that one?
I think
Can I tell you what I think the curse is? Hiring incompetent people. It's the curse of hiring incompetent people. I think that's what I do not believe in that curse stuff at all. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm not trying to be a funny, fuddy-duddy guy. I think if you hire good people bring results. Honestly, I really do.
Did you like Tom Lawan and Martin Mayhew. Did you like those guys? The Sheldon on Whites.
I liked Martin. I thought that Martin had a good idea, but how's the best way I can put it? I think he became the smartest man in the room. I think some of the early success kind of made him go, oh yeah, well, I'm going to go off the board because we really like this guy, and take guys that maybe he could have had later. And you saw a lot of that happen with Bob Quinn. All of a sudden, Bob became the smartest guy in the room. But both of them, to me, had the right idea. You have to build through the draft, man. You have to make those, and you have to sign guys like Joique Bell. Grab those guys.
You have to find them, though.
Yeah, you have to find them.
You have to find them, right? It's not like just going and just picking a name out of hat. You really have to do a lot of studying, a lot of research.
You got it.
I'll give you a perfect example. So, and this is why this is why I love Martin Mayhew, and I think that's why I think he's brilliant. When I went to the Bears, we had a guy, we had Jordan Howard, got another guy named Kadeem, which he was I would say a good special teams player. And then you had Jeremy Langford, and then you had a guy on practice squad by the name of Raheem Mostert. And when I went there, I could not figure out for the life of me why he was on practice squad. And I know talent. So when I saw this guy practice on a practice squad in practice, he will be faster than the defense. He would have great route running ability. He would have great route running skills.
He flies.
Great hands, flies. A good IQ of the football game, of just football. And I didn't understand why he wasn't playing on the active roster. Martin Mayhew ends up picking him up, or being part of that process of picking him up for the 49ers. He goes there, and I text Martin Mayhew and say, listen, Raheem is going to be a good pickup for you guys. He's going to help you in the stretch. And he said, oh, we know. And for them to know that, to bring him on the team, and for the Bears organization to have that talent and just let him go, I could not figure it out for the life of me. And those are the type of picks that he does. So Raheem Mostert was a Joique Bell in 2016.
Sure.
You know, what Joique Bell was in 2012. He was just a sleeper, and people were just looking at him as if he was just a practice squad player. That's all he was going to be. He had been on like 6 to 7 teams, I think, at the time. And I was just happy to see him get his start and start his career off on the right foot in San Francisco. So, but those are the type of picks that our team needs to have. And there's our guys out there like that, but we have to search for them. You have to find them. You have to be patient.
Do you know what I think? Go ahead, Corey. Corey with a K.
Hey, Joique, and hold on, this double echo. In your own opinion, why does it seem like the Lions, just historically, no matter who is the general manager, we don't get those picks? We don't get those sleeper picks. I rarely see us.
We do. When we had Martin Mayhew, they got me.
Besides you, of course.
But you know what though? But I think it's a mindset, and then it's also your scouts, right? So you go off for your scouts. You have people who get paid to go out and scout these players, and they always usually go after the big name guys, right? The big name guys, because technically, if you have a guy like, Aaron Donald coming out in the draft, even if you don't need a defensive lineman, you go get him because you draft talent, and you figure out how you use them once you get them. Like that's how it should be done. And then as you go forward, you figure out how you utilize them. But as a GM, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to get them here. It's a head coach's job to figure out how you can win with them.
You just read my mind, because when Martin Mayhew lost me, okay, I brought up the smartest guy in the room, and somebody said, touche, Ken. He said, well, because he was in the same room with Matt Millen, he was the smartest guy in the room. When Martin lost me, Joique, is the exact scenario that you thought of. He convinced himself that Ndamukong Suh was going to be back. So did they really need Aaron Donald? Did they really, at the end of the day, did they really need Aaron Donald? Well, Ndamukong's coming back. It doesn't matter. He's going to come back. Where now we can sit back and say, this guy's intentions were to go. There's no doubt about that. He was going to go get paid. I will never begrudge a human being for doing that. I don't care who it is. That's one thing I'm consistent. Joique, if you left, who the hell am I to tell Joique Bell, no, Joique, don't go do what's best for your family. Don't go take this much when you can take this much to stay here in Detroit. Sorry, I feel that way. I'm not going to tell a guy what is best for them. I don't know what the circumstances are. But if you remember, Martin was convinced that Ndamukong was going to stay here. And therefore, well, did it make sense to take Aaron Donald? You should have taken Aaron Donald. I mean, it would have been sick. And I get what the mentality was, because the mentality was, well, if you had a little bit more on that offense, what might that team have done in 2014? To that point, I say you have a generational talent on your offensive line for years to come, wreaking havoc in a division where Aaron Rodgers presides. I'll go ahead and take Aaron Donald in that situation. And that's unfortunately that's where Martin lost me. And I think that was a big part of him losing his job too. That's something he's not gonna. You know, people are always going to go back to that. That's just the way it is. We took Eric Ebron. You know, that's
I
something.
knew Sue wasn't coming back.
Huh?
When I saw Sue's sister tweet that she couldn't wait to get out of here, I knew they weren't coming back.
That's what. Same with me.
Who, Gum?
But
Yeah.
you, I mean, Joique, you were there. Did you guys have a sense of how it was going to work? Because I've heard Martin say multiple times. And by the way, Martin Mayhew is a wonderful man. No diss on Martin the man. I think he really flubbed that up. But I heard him say multiple times after the fact, you know, look, we really thought he was going to come back. Do you remember? Did you guys think that Sue was going to come back?
So it was a tricky situation. You know, we have everything plays a part, like the team, the rebuilding, all of this plays a factor. And, you know, you can go down to a team to where, I think at the time it was Miami, where they were offering him a little bit more, and then you pay less in taxes, you know, in state taxes.
How do you?
You know, you're saving what, $5 million. So who's going to leave that? Probably a little bit more than that. You know, probably around that ballpark. And how can you turn that down?
Can't.
You can't turn it down. And for them to give him what he wanted, it would have crippled our team. All right, it would have crippled. You know, you would have had 3 guys on the team with most of the salary cap with him, Stafford, and because you got to think that was around the time Calvin had just signed his $134 million deal. Stafford had, I guess, redid his deal, and then you had Sue, who wanted to be the highest paid defensive lineman in NFL history at the time. And
Wasn't it 28 mil? Was that the number
what, for who?
for Sue? Wasn't it
A
like
year?
28 mil?
It was
something insane.
I think it was like a 114 million or something like that, or something like that. Yeah, for I think
Just a little bit shy of my contract that I signed with Woodward Sports. Just
a little shy.
just a little shy.
Hey, his deal was for $114 million with $60 million fully guaranteed.
Oh my goodness.
And I think what the Lions were doing we're trying to give him a less on his contract, but we were going to try to give him like right around the same ballpark as the signing bonus. I think we offered him like 56 guaranteed, something like that. But for them to go anything more than that, it would have crippled us.
Yeah,
It might have been cheaper just to go get Aaron Donald.
Sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But at the same time,
we got Eric Ebron.
Right. We took Eric Ebron, but at the same time, we're playing at a high talent. Aaron Donald, and you have a guy playing at high talent, and that's where you have to take your risk. I do want Eric Ebron because we know we're getting, we know that Pettigrew is on the tail end. You know, we need a tight end that can run and catch. That's what we need. You have Aaron Donald, who's coming out, and we have a Sue here, but we know we're getting rid of this guy. We need someone to come in now that's talented, and honestly. Well, we probably take Aaron Donald. I think we take that because we had a tight end come in who was just as good as Eric Ebron, but his career was a little bit shorter. I'm gonna get his name for you in just a second, but just to revert back, I think you have to kind of look at your team and say, okay, this is a good player, but we really do need this. It's not that we don't need a defensive lineman, but we need a tight end.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, how do you decipher, right? Because Aaron Donald's he's not making it out of the first round, obviously. So
Don't you at that point in time? I mean, to me, it's all about value. I get it that you want that tight end, But can't you get that guy in the second round? Can't you get that guy in the third round or the fourth round, or take a guy, you know, who's been elsewhere and hasn't been utilized properly, and go with talent in that spot? Because, I mean, that was my mindset. It's just like, now, did any of us think that he would turn into the player that he's become? I mean, he really is one of the most dominant defensive players like ever. I don't think that's an overstatement. I'm not sure that anybody thought that Aaron Donald was going to be that good, because if they did, he would have gone number one overall. But to me, doesn't talent at that point in time, don't you go, we got to go with this guy? I get it. There isn't necessarily a need, but this dude, we can't pass this guy up.
But you have those, and you take. And sometimes they either turn out to be the player that you always wanted, that you thought they were going to be.
Sure.
Or they turn out to be a bust.
Yeah.
You know, you have guys who come in the league. You have a Vince Young, who had an awesome, one of the greatest probably college careers of any other college quarterback, and then get into the NFL and don't pan out. You'll have a DeMarcus Russell, another guy, and then you'll have a Patrick Mahomes. You know, you have guys like that who come in and they are everything you thought that they would be. Or you go get a guy that's in the end of the draft, and a Tom Brady, and he turns out to be everything you never expected.
Absolutely.
All right. And so it takes a lot of time, and I think it's a very delicate situation that you have to really put yourself in to be able to pick these guys up, and it takes a certain mindset to be able to look at a play and say that guy's going to be special.
You know what, Bob and Martin were a lot alike, that they firmly believe that you have to build through the draft, and they both had their good moments, but the bad moments are the ones that everybody's going to talk about, and that's unfortunate. Kai said she misses you on the field. That's nice, Kai.
Appreciate you, sis.
Nick said, I'm still here, bud, because I wanted to come back to this. Nick said he's a big Packer fan. Mm-hmm. Now, Nick, if you're still with us, I need to ask you this, because I'm sure you know this. I'm not sure how many other people around here know this, okay? There is a huge, huge Packer fan base in the state of Michigan. And I don't know how many people know this, okay? Corey with a K, you probably know this. You guys ever been to the UP? I know you have, Joique. You get to the UP, and I would say from Marquette all the way over, okay? The closer you get to Wisconsin, the more Green Bay Packer it is. And I have friends of mine, I know people up in Houghton, right? And maybe some of my boys up in Houghton are watching right now, and the Lion fans up there said, we're in the minority by far. It isn't even close. That Houghton, Michigan is a Green Bay Packer town. Because you got to remember, you're not that far from Green Bay. You're 9 hours away from Ford Field, probably 9.5, 10.
So how far is Houghton, Michigan, where Michigan Tech is?
That's where Michigan Tech is. Yep.
How far is that drive going around?
Well, you just cut straight across. It's like it's not far at all. I mean, it really isn't. Here, you know what? Look it up, Corey with a K.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd say it's about 2 hours.
That's it?
Yeah, I'd say it's about 2 hours.
Goodness.
How far is Houghton from Green Bay? Look that up.
I remember the first time I went to Michigan Tech and get from like the bottom, so I'm from Benton Harbor, to, we do this right here. So let me see if I can do it here. And so if we were to do this, the drive from here all the way to up here is Houghton. It took us about 14 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't think to get from the bottom of Michigan to the top of Michigan would take anywhere longer than like 10 hours.
Well, and you know the routine. Once you get to the UP, it's not like they have the big giant expressways up there, man. You're on this little road just to get to Marquette, and then you go to this other little road just to get to Michigan Tech. So, it's funny. And Nick, that's why I ask. Anthony said almost 4 hours. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. It's funny. Up there, they're closer to Green Bay. So all these guys that I know say we're the minority here. Mm-hmm. There are just tons of Packer fans. Like, where Izzo and Steve Mariucci are from, Iron Mountain, that's even further west, right? Mm-hmm. So they're even closer to Green Bay. So that whole area up there is Packer country.
And where I'm from, Benton Harbor, we have a lot of Bears fans because the Chicago is about an hour and a half to an hour 45 minutes away from
What
my
would you
hometown.
say the breakdown is? Would you say half-half?
Half-half,
Yeah,
about 50-50.
yeah, because all my boys
sure.
up there say it is vast majority Packer fan.
Yeah.
Everybody. Anthony said 3 hours and 42 minutes. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, so, I mean, and now think of it this way. You go further west. You go to Iron Mountain where, like, Mooch and Izzo are from, and it's all Packer territory up there. And so, Nick, that's why I was asking, you as a Packer fan, are you from the UP, or did you just gravitate to the Packers, or whatever the case may be? I'm always intrigued to hear that, but it's funny how many people in Michigan don't understand the dynamic that you grew up with in Benton Harbor,
Yeah.
and what those guys up there grew up with. I mean, they'll tell you that majority Packer fans up there, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, we have another question from, I've heard rumors that Sue was a bit of a head case, even off the field. Any insight? Sue is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet if you know him, and just have a conversation with him. Love Sue. Sue's a businessman, handles business well, conducts himself very well off the field. I'll call Sue and say, listen, I got a business venture I want to run by you. And we'll sit down, we'll talk about it. He'll give us insight, we'll give, and great guy. No, nothing negative to say about Sue at all. Now, there's players that are out there that I would say, and for me to call someone a businessman outside of football is a huge compliment, because I just don't throw that word out lightly. Like a Rob Sims is a great businessman off the field. And I study other athletes who venture off from their professional sport into the business realm, because that's kind of what I went into. And so to see some of these guys become successful off the field is a testament to them, their dedication, their attention to the details, and learning and not having an ego. Being able to have these conversations, to take constructive feedback, and being able to implement that into their business plan, or into what they might want to venture off and do next. Because where I come from, Sean, we don't have financial literacy. That isn't prevalent in most black communities. When I came out, I didn't have anyone I can talk to about banking or stocks or bonds or digital currency or real estate. I had people who were around me that kept me out of trouble, but never teach me about financial literacy. Right? And so growing up in that environment, it taught me how to be a hustler, right? And once I found out that being a businessman is basically just the corporate way of saying hustler.
You got
right?
it.
That's what it is.
Yep.
You just have to convert it over. And so for me, I think that's why I've started with my charity, like a literacy program. You can't have kids who can't read going out trying to read business contracts or entertainment contracts or any contract in general if they can't even read at that grade level. And that's why this year with my charity, we're raising money to start a literacy program that I researched and found to bring back to my community to get kids, I guess, grade level movement in their reading skills
I'd love to
within
hear
14
that.
weeks.
How can we help out?
So with my nonprofit, we started my charity weekend about 10 years ago. So this year was supposed to be my 10th year anniversary. We ended up having to push it to next year.
Okay.
So basically, we're raising $100,000 for this year, but since we're pushing it off, we raised it to $200,000 because we have more time to raise funding. We teamed up with the local Ben Harbor Foundation. We're trying to pitch them to get them to match half of whatever we raise, so we can have more kids coming to the program, because for this program, for one child can get up to about $3,100 on average. How I found this group, I would do speaking engagements for the Lions, and this one speaking engagement I did was for a group of kids who were part of this program called Beyond Basic. So this program is a literacy program that helps kids to get, I guess, to their grade level of reading. So for instance, it was a 10th grader reading at the 5th grade level. And within 14 weeks, when he retested, he was testing out at 11th grade level within 14 weeks.
That's awesome.
And that's only one case out of thousands. And so that's the type of program I'm trying to bring back to my community to give our kids the opportunity, because right now, we're doing a good job with the new superintendent we have in the area with Andre Townsend. But I want to make sure I'm doing my part as well and trying to help my community with this, and also started my scholarship program as well. And so you have all these different things that I have for my charity weekend, from the football camps to the dance camps to the celebrity basketball game to the golf outings to the bowling tournament. So I have all these different things that happen on this particular weekend, and that everybody come be a part of it. June 17th to June 20th. If you guys want any more information, go to joiquebill.com. We're going to update everything to match what we're doing for next year. And if you guys want to be a part of it, please just reach out to, on my page, we have a business email on there. Reach out to us, and then if you guys want to be a part of it, let us know.
Count me in, pal.
All right, for sure.
Corey doesn't know it. He's helping out too.
Yeah,
I just signed Corey up. Yeah, let's go. You're coming too.
Down.
All right?
K-Bar, you coming up?
Come on down. Everybody's coming down.
K-Bar with a K is coming down, man.
Can I want to say one thing I'm going to echo everything you said about Ndamukong Suh. And I know we talked about this last week, but it bears repeating. I've never seen a physical specimen like him ever in my lifetime.
Yeah.
For a guy that's 290 pounds to be that lean, I mean, he was just this lean, like that striated muscle. I mean, he was just one big giant muscle. He was frustrating his sin to cover as a member of the media, though. And I like the man. When we were away from the game, I did some off-the-field stuff with him. Great guy. He was frustrated his sin to cover as a member of the media, and I'll tell you why. Because he owned nothing. The dumb things that he did, whether it be stomping on Rodgers, whether it be some of the personal foul penalties that he took, that he hurt the team, nothing was ever his fault. And so that as a member of the media, that pissed me off. So I'd be remiss if I didn't include that.
I love Suh.
Oh, I love him. Don't get me wrong.
I love Suh.
I wish he was still playing here, but he, when the whole I didn't mean to stomp on.
No, I understand. I don't agree with him stepping on.
Sure.
Aaron. I don't agree with that. That's happened. You're in the heat of the moment, and you make plays that are boneheaded. But like when you're in the game and this is an emotional game, and you get in your head, or a player gets in your head, and it's a lot of chirping back and forth, and that's why I say the Packers in my time, and that's our rivalry.
Yeah.
And so you have did him stepping on his leg get as much attention as Clay Matthews pulling me down by my hair? Is that the same? Is that
Good
the same
point.
thing? Did they kill Clay Matthews for that? No, they didn't. Because they to the Packers. Like, no, we don't. No, we're on the air, so I can't say what I want to say. But forget that.
Let me say it, right?
Yeah. You can say it, but my mom's watching. Hey, Grammy Whammy. Hey, Mom. But no, we don't do that for the Packers. Yeah. And so I respect everything about the organization, but when they come here, it's gloves off and anything goes. But I don't agree with stepping on his leg, but I don't. If you guys are going to talk about that, talk about what they did to us as well.
1,000%.
So it should be both ways.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. By the way, I got to bring this up. Tony said, Joique, I was telling my now Grand Rapids neighbor, Sergeant Mike Grennan, about the show. He retired
I know my dad, right?
Yeah, Benton Township Police, small world. He knows your dad well. Said your dad is one of the best men he has ever been around. Told me some pretty cool stories and says, what's up?
Yeah, so my dad was a lot of people don't, but my dad was a heavyweight boxer. And so he actually fought in a boxing tournament in Ohio, and guess who was in that tournament? Mike Tyson.
Really?
Yeah. And so they go to, he would tell me the story. I love this story. He'll tell me this story. He'll go, he gets invited, and it's about 12 fighters, and they put them all in this room at this big oval table, and they're all sitting down at the table. And he said he's sitting there, and nobody's really talking. They're waiting for the commissioner or whoever to come in, and the guy, he feels the guy looking at him. So he turns around, and the guy's like just staring my dad in the face like this, just looking right in his eyes. My dad picked his chair up, turned it towards him, sat down, leaned towards him, and looked him right in his eye, and they stayed there for about a good 5-10 minutes till the person came in. And the guy told his manager that he wanted to fight my dad, and the manager told him, no, you're not ready for him yet. You know who that guy was? It was Mike Tyson. It was that. So they ended up doing the tournament, and so they never met each other. But I think he fought another guy, and that guy won. And so they put that guy against my dad. My dad had to box him, and then my dad beat him. So they never fought each other,
Sure,
but it was
sure.
in the same tournament. So
Wow.
So it was pretty cool to hear as a kid. And so actually growing up, I wanted to box. Yeah, I wanted to box. I remember my dad had these boxing gloves that he would put on me when I was a kid. And it would hit me, and I give him a couple hits, and then he'll just hit me in the side of my face, and I hit the ground, and the slob is coming out of my mouth, and I'm laughing like I just got knocked out by my pops. and he was like, keep your guards up, keep your guards up. So I was telling him, like, I want to box one day. He said, no, boxing's too dangerous. You go play football. So they put me on the football field. I was saying, okay, I guess this is a little bit safer to play. But no, that was one story about my dad. So he would box at the sheriff's department, and when they put him in the ring, they would have to put two people in the ring with him when they'll train at the sheriff's department. So it was fun to watch. Well, fun to hear about.
All right, I got something for you. A little trivia now. And I never knew that your dad was also an officer. My dad was an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Darren McCarty, who was in with us, his dad was an officer.
Look at that.
Yeah, we're all sons of a police officer.
You know what's funny? I went to school for criminal justice.
Did you really?
Yeah. My minor was in criminal justice.
So many of your teammates, guys that you played with and after you, have gotten into it. It's amazing.
Got into it.
Yeah.
Chief Holt loves hiring like the athletes to come in and work for him.
Shout out, Chief Holt. What's up?
Shout out. Tony Hope. So he actually hired me. He gave me my first job on campus. And so I was working that job and playing football, and it worked around our schedule. It was perfect. It was a great job for me. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's amazing because it's funny because a lot of guys that you played with, Ed Viverette, who came a little bit after you.
Yeah, Tony. Tony Davis.
Yeah, a lot of those guys became officers on campus.
Yeah, I think I might have been the first WSU football player to become, what was it called? Campus security, but it wasn't campus security. It was student cadet. That's what it was, student cadet, and we worked right under the police. So we were basically just paid snitches. We walked around with a radio and a whistle. We didn't have any, but that was around the same time they had it was getting scary because we didn't have anything to protect ourselves, and that was around the time they had the Virginia shooting at the university.
Oh, that's right.
Just around that time. So I remember we were in the cafeteria, and one of the officers came to me and brought me like a bulletproof vest, just something to help protect myself. I don't know if I still have it or not. I think I might have.
Some of the toys my dad had were unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's been retired for 21 years now, but he used to bring that stuff home, man.
Yeah.
Just so cool.
So I'm actually I'm good friends with Police Chief Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, and James Craig, and like he invites me out to the gun range with him.
Great dude.
And he always says like, I got some toys. Just come on out. I got some toys for us. And I want to go with him, but our schedules is always. But we're gonna get out there one time, and I'm gonna film. I know. I can only imagine the type of toys he has.
Great dude. I've interviewed him in my day job. I work for a radio station. I interviewed him, and it was funny. The last time I talked to him, he said to me, "I had no idea your dad was DPD." Absolutely, my dad was DPD. He worked there for years, and then he transferred to another place in the suburbs. But yeah, it's you're brought up differently. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Anthony said, what do you guys think about Michigan having another pro team? Cali has 4. Our state is huge. Do you think that Michigan could support another professional team? Football, yes. Football, yes. I mean, it's honestly, now would they ever do it? No, they would never do it. But this is a football, I don't care what you grew up as, okay? I don't care. Anybody that knows me, hockey's my first love. I grew up playing it. I love it. I've called it professionally, all that stuff. Football is king.
I want to take a poll.
Period, end of story.
I want to take a poll on what is Michigan and what is Detroit. Like a poll on, is this a football state, a basketball state?
1,000%.
Hockey state,
1,000%.
baseball state?
It's football.
Period. You think the poll would say
I don't think it's even close. I
think we should take a poll on that.
You know what it is?
Because every team has won a championship except for football. Think about it. Every team has won a championship except for football.
You know what's interesting about it, Joique, is you got and Mr. Higdon would know this. You got the madness that is Michigan football. And I don't care if you love Michigan football or hate Michigan football, you got 110,000 people going in that place every single week. And they haven't done anything in all this time, 16 years. You got 110,000 people going in there. You got East Lansing. That place can get absolutely positively packed. I've been there on nights that, the Nebraska game was freezing cold, so a lot of people left. But I've been there for so many big games up there, you can't believe how loud it's get. You get, as you and I talked about last week, the east side is finally starting to catch up, but you got these monumental stadiums on the west side. I mean, beautiful stadiums on the west side that are being filled everywhere, whether it be Benton Harbor, whether it be the Grand Rapids area for high school games, right? I mean, football's king, whether people like it or not. And I know whenever we have this conversation, I inevitably hear from people that are bigger baseball fans or bigger hockey fans or bigger basketball fans.
We have a guy who said that it's a football and hockey state for sure. But if you only have to pick one, if you gave me two, you can only pick one. Which one is it? Is it football, hockey, baseball, or basketball? Which one is it? You only can pick one of the four.
It's a football state.
I would say football.
Yeah,
I would say football.
Look, I'm a bigger hockey fan, and Anthony said Detroit has 11 Stanley Cups. Absolutely, positively. But you know what? How many people go out and I've always said this, hockey town, right? No, it's Red Wing town. How many people?
Detroit still and always will be hockey town.
Well, you know what? I think it's Red Wing town. I've always said that. It's Red Wing town. And what I mean by that is they support the Red Wings. But how much do they go support, the other hockey in the area? How much do they go support, whether it be the Whalers, who I used to work for, whether it be USA Hockey? Does that make sense? I think there's a difference. The Red Wings are huge. The brand is huge. That jersey is huge.
Take football out the equation.
Okay.
Hockey, basketball, baseball. I have Sean spelled the right way. Football 100%, but basketball 40%, hockey 30%, baseball 15%.
I think we're a baseball town outside of hockey.
I would say basketball. Detroit basketball. I gotta go with them. I gotta rock with them.
I think baseball, because even when the Tigers are bad, you'll still see people out at Comerica Park. But when the Pistons are bad, there is nobody there.
Hold up, because somebody's going all the way out to Armin Hills.
Or LCA.
They're LCA.
Nah, not these past 2 seasons.
I don't know.
It's too bad. It's such a beautiful arena. It's such a beautiful.
They're here now, though.
My son and I had season tickets for the Tigers for from 05 until we got rid of them in 17. And that happens to coincide. When we first got the tickets, it was pretty much like you said, Corey. It was you and maybe 1,000 of your closest friends, right? And then all of a sudden, as 2006 kept going, that was kind of the magical year, right? As it kept going, you kept seeing the attendance go like that. There was a span of probably, I would say, mid-2006 to probably the end of 2015. Place was packed constantly.
Oh no!
It was packed constantly.
And I might even say it might be hockey after football. I mean, I went to my first hockey game in 2016, and it was a playoff game. I think they were playing. Was it Tampa? They were playing Tampa, and the energy in the building was electrifying.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
It was electrifying. And I said, why am I just now coming to one of these games? I'm coming to and that's when I started to become more, I started to go to more games. I started to learn more of the players. I said, okay, because when I grew up, I wanted to play hockey because of what movie? Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks, yeah?
Mighty Ducks.
That's great.
And I wanted to play hockey. And I always ask my mom, Mom, can you take me? I want to play hockey. And they would never take me to the ice rink. Never. And so I never played.
Justin said Lions have fans in the stands no matter what. 1,000%. I mean, I remember there were 2 times when I was younger that I called it a revolt. In 1988, I think people had enough, and they ended up getting rid of Darryl Rogers, and they brought Wayne in and all of that, but they drafted this guy named Barry Sanders. Maybe you heard of him. And so
He played back in the 90s.
Yeah, so even with the Lions being bad in some of those years, you had a reason to go because Barry was there. I mean, Barry put asses in the seats. That's
but we
just the
always
way
have
it was.
those players, though. We
For the most part.
We always have arguably like a player on the team that can arguably be one of the best to ever play the game.
And Joique, that's my point, because I think before then, like that season, you can go back and look at like the 1988 attendance. People weren't going to those games. I remember they played the Jets one game, and there was nobody in the Silverdome. It was weird. You know, it was really weird. It was kind of like, man, this place holds 80+ thousand. There's probably like 20,000 people in here. But other than that, I mean, even think some of those lean years for you guys, right? You know, we were just talking about 2012 a second ago. Ford Field was always packed, Joique. You guys always packed that place. And so I think that's one difference, and I agree with Justin. I think maybe that's a difference between what we've seen with the other teams. Because, again, I grew up in an era before, you know, the Red Wings got good in the late 80s, you know, when they brought Joique in and they had that miracle run in 86, 87, and then again in 87, 88 to get to the conference finals. Nobody was at Joe Louis Arena. Nobody was there. No, and when I say nobody, listen, they were giving away cars trying to entice people to come to the Red Wings games because, you know, they had been the dead things for so long.
And then what happened?
They got good.
How did they get good?
Steve Yzerman.
Okay.
That was the first step. It was Yzerman. Then Jimmy made a couple of nice moves, and then they needed the right coach in there, and they got Joique in there by the time 86, 87 came, and they made that miracle run to the conference finals and lost to the mighty Oilers. But it was like, to me, that was like, okay, hockey's back on the map. And then that became stagnant. They brought in Brian Murray. That became stagnant. They brought in Scotty Bowman. History.
You know what movie I want to watch? The documentary I want to watch that is The Russian Five.
Oh, it's awesome.
I want to watch that doc. I haven't watched it yet.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's tremendous. I did some stuff with them over the summer, you know, when they were, made the tour. Darren and I had to go, and I had to do.
Give us that experience, man.
It was really cool to like talk to the lady that put it together, and you know,
the documentary?
Keith wasn't there. Yeah, Keith wasn't there, but the lady that put it together is Russian, and having Darren explaining having a front row seat for that, because I don't want to give anything away. The stories of how these guys got here.
I'm going to watch it.
Okay, the stories of how these guys, I'll tell you off the air just in case anybody hasn't seen it. How's that? But I mean, it really is, it's espionage. It's like a spy game. It's like watching, some novel or something. It's crazy.
To sneak them in, to sneak their family in.
It's crazy. You wouldn't believe it.
Paying off a bunch of people.
You got it. Because you got to remember in the late 80s, remember the Soviet Union was opening. But the Hockey Federation were only sending the guys over that their best years were behind them. They weren't sending any. If there was a young Joique Bell, that you weren't going. They weren't going to let you go. Now, if it was Joique Bell at the end of his career, they might say, "Okay, Joique, you can go play in the NHL now." But those were the guys that they were letting go. You know, guys that they thought were past their prime. You know, even the great ones like Makarov and Larionov and Krutov and you know, those were the guys that they were saying, well, you're in your 30s now, you guys can go, even though they had a lot of mileage left. And I remember there was one guy, he was ancient. I think he was like 39 years old. His name was Helmut Balderas. The dude had been done for 5 years. But they were like, yeah, you can go to the NHL. But if you were a young, talented player, Pavel Bure, Sergei Fedorov, Sergei Zub, no way. You weren't going to go. So if you wanted to get over here, you had to sneak. I mean, it was crazy. It was a crazy time, man. It really was.
And then they had to like somehow protect their families to get their families.
Sure. That stuff still, the Russian mafia stuff. I'm not saying anything because I'm not getting involved. I don't want those guys after me. But that stuff's real. That stuff is real, man. It is. Kenny said, is Russian
crazy.
5 on Netflix? I don't know. I'm not sure it is. Hi, people are waving. Hi, yeah. Human Zoo.
Yeah, Human Zoo. There we go.
Sean, the biggest factor in what you're saying is social media's reach. People are more engaged with players through their personal pages. Oh, there's no doubt about it.
For sure.
And you know what? Guys are cooler, too. I mean, you guys have. I think you guys have changed over the time, Joique. You know, you've become more interactive with fans and everything.
Yeah,
So I think that counts for something.
Yeah, I think social media is the best way to interact with your. I mean, because it's like the Answer the Bell segment I would have with the Lions, where I would do a segment where I would go around. I would have different athletes kind of do an interview with me, just in the locker room after practice. And it's like real laid back, real casual, and it was a big hit because it was another way for the fans to be able to have contact or have some type of way into the locker room to see some of their favorite players. So whether it's been, you know, anywhere from Stafford on the show, Calvin Johnson, Bill Bentley, you know, DeAndre Levy, Terry Whitehead, Stephen Tuttle. I have all these guys that come on the show, and it's like just, you know, this is how we are in the locker room. This is our sense of humor. This is how we are. And it's just more personable and,
Sure.
and just make people want to, like, you know, I like that guy. Just not even because of the way he plays, just kind of how he carries himself off the field, you know. So it's things like that, and fans love it.
You know what? I don't know if you've ever noticed this. I used to run across one of your old teammates in my stomping grounds in Northville. You can probably figure out who it is.
Troy Burrow?
No, I'm talking Lion teammates.
Oh,
Lion
right.
teammates.
He played for the Lions too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He did for a little while after that. Good. Touche.
Wayne stayed in
no,
the
but
Detroit.
Calvin. I ran into Calvin a few times out in the Northville area. And it's funny, you know, the one thing that I've never done, and I've never even done this with you when I've run into you, I never talk shop with those guys away from the field, ever. If they bring it up, that's one thing. If they bring it up, Calvin and I had a mutual friend. I'll leave it at that. Shout out to our mutual friend. He knows who he is. And there were a few times that I saw Calvin over there, never talk football, not one time. Never. Why am I going to do that to you guys? If you bring it up, if you say, yeah, okay, cool. You know, like I remember back in the day, Joique, seeing you when you were playing for the Lions, and you would say to me, hey man, how does Dub's team look this year? And we would talk Wayne State. I remember that plain as day. You know, I don't get a chance to see him. I'm kind of busy with this NFL thing. You bring that up, well, yeah, of course I'm going to talk to you about it, you know, but I'm not going to do that. And it was funny because Calvin once said to me, he was like, hey, I appreciate you. You never bring it up. And I was like, why would I do that? I'm not going to sit here with my microphone. Hi, I'm talking with Calvin Johnson. Hi, Calvin. No, I'm not going to. He's a human being. He's away from the game.
If you guys don't understand this, that Sean Baligian is a professional.
Idiot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say idiot. But with the face expressions and your voice changing.
Hello, how are you? Joique Bell, ladies and gentlemen.
And then go right back into.
We're in the locker room with Joique Bell. Hey, Joique, how are you? Hello, sir, Joique Bell. So it's.
I take it back. You are an idiot.
Thank you. Justin, I don't know if you heard us talking about this last week. Justin said a Lions championship parade would be like 1,000 Woodstock stretched across the entire state. McCarty was here on Friday, and we were actually talking about that. It would be the greatest party in the history of parties. I mean, period, end. I'm telling you, I take 2 days off. I am just going to get blown out for 2 days.
2 days.
I am going to get blown out.
You're going to need 4 days. You need 2 days for recovery.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you're going to have to take a week off.
It's a good point.
It's going to be a long week.
Anthony said Russian 5 doc is on Amazon Prime.
Yep, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you
saw that?
check that out. Check that out for sure.
We had a person come on, and they said they worked. Who was that? Anthony. He said I worked at the Joe, I worked at Comerica, and I worked at the Palace. Mm-hmm. He said all three are awesome, but nothing compares to the Palace. It was amazing.
Building.
The Palace was a beautiful building. It was beautiful.
I was talking about this when they blew it up a few weeks ago, and the late Jamie Samuelson.
Was that a few weeks ago?
Well, a few months ago, whenever it was. Yeah. The late Jamie Samuelson and I were sitting together. It was the 2004 playoffs, which everybody remembers. They went, but it was that Game 7 against New Jersey, okay? When everybody thought the series was over, and the Pistons found a way to win. And it was Game 7 against New Jersey, and I was sitting with Jamie. We were working at the same radio station at the time. And Joique, I mean, he's here, I'm here. You couldn't hear a damn thing. You couldn't hear a damn thing. And like he kept going like this and elbowing me and trying to say something. I couldn't hear it. So finally he wrote, "My ears are burning." Like, because I mean, I'll never forget how loud that building was. And a lot of it, like Anthony said, a lot of it is kind of stems in memories, you know? We're always going to hold the Palace near and dear to our heart because why?
The history there.
You got it. They won a championship. They won the championship in 1989. They won the championship in 1990. They won the championship in 2004. Started 88, 89. So it was not an old arena at all. The first year was 88, 89. Isn't that crazy?
Right. And they blew it up this year?
Yeah, just blew it up this past year. Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like it was newer than that for some reason.
And it's funny, I always used to talk about this, and I'm not going to get Mac in trouble for this. People hold Joe Louis near and dear to their heart. Again, why? Because you finally saw a championship in 97, and then they won another one in 98, and then they won another one in 02, and they won another one in 08. And they all not necessarily had to be there, you know, because obviously they didn't win the Stanley Cup at the Joe in 98. They didn't win it at the Joe in 08. But the fact that it happened while they were in that building, so people had this love affair with the Joe, and still do to this day.
Yeah, for real.
So what I'm about to say is going to tick some people off. That place was a dump. It was so time to go. And you're not going to get players to admit that because they know that fans have that soft spot for the Joe, okay? Trust me when I say this, there are guys with the team now and with the team from years gone by that are going, thank God they blew that place up.
I'm telling you, LCA is a beautiful arena. It's gorgeous. So if you ever have like the club passes, like when you go to the game at the LCA, where you can see the players kind of walk through like the tunnel.
Oh,
it kind of reminds you of like how the Dallas Cowboys is when you're walking through the tunnel onto the football field at AT&T Stadium. You have like the music playing. You have like great food down there. You have it's like a lounge, so to speak, and so the players are walking by this lounge as they're walking onto the field. And it's like a cool experience to have like your kids to see that, and they go to the glass and they can see the people walking by, and they're like right there at arm's length. And the stadium is beautiful. The layout is gorgeous. It's world class. You
know this as a player, okay? And Joique, I've been fortunate. I've called some National Hockey League games, so I've been to a few different arenas. The problem with a lot of the wing players is, okay, they were stuck in a place that was a dump, especially the bowels of Joe Louis. It was a dump. And the problem is, and you know this from your NFL life, when you walk into these rinks and there are all these modern amenities like you were just talking about, then every guy's going to go, hey, man, why don't we have this? Why don't we get that? Yes. And they didn't have any of that at Joe Louis. I mean, nothing.
No, you don't. And you look at certain players when they leave the Lions or they come to the Lions after they leave a certain team. Like some teams had, like, I'm not going to lie, like the best cafeteria food as far as how they prepare the food, how they prep it, how they have it, was probably Chicago. Like when I was playing for the Bears, I mean, what they had there was just, it was the best I've had.
At that beautiful old stadium, huh?
No, this is at the practice facility.
Oh, at the facility.
This is at the practice facility. Gotcha. Because you got to understand that you're only spending, as a player, you're only spending 10 to 12% of the year at the game stadium.
Sure.
You're spending the other, half of.
Where's their facility in Chicago?
It's like 30 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
35 minutes from downtown.
Okay, all right.
Like, so it's a grip away. And that's with no traffic. With traffic, it would take me 2 hours to get from the practice facility back to my condo downtown. It would take me 2 hours.
Wow.
And players would look at me and say, why do you stay downtown? Luckily for me, I had my neighbor here in Detroit had a condo downtown that I said, if I'm going to rent from someone, I'm going to rent from you.
Heck yeah.
And so he actually gave me my first month for free. And I was only in Chicago for a month, so I had free housing. And so, but it would take me about 2 hours to get home every day after practice, especially on like Wednesdays and Thursdays when I would have to hit rush hour to get back. I remember my last practice there, I finally got home, I got a call, and they said they want me to come back up because the coach wanted to talk to me. I said, listen, I'm not driving 2 hours. Y'all can send the car to come get me. Like, y'all want to let me go? Y'all send the car to come get me. They sent the car. I'm like, I'm not.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm not driving back. I'm not driving back in 2 hours.
Just to get, just to get cut.
No, y'all come pick me up, and then we're gonna do it. You know, walked in. We handled this amicably.
Who's the coach at the time?
Coach Fox.
Okay.
Yeah, Coach Fox. They loved me on the team, but they had some injuries, and they needed. And I wasn't playing that much. I was just good in the locker room, and I was helping out the young guys. And I had a good month there, and came right back to Detroit. Yeah, it was a good time. Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool venue, though. I love Soldier Field. I don't like the spaceship edition that they made to it about 20 years ago, but that's a cool place to see a game.
Well, you know, the Bears, they don't own that stadium.
Really?
No, the city owns it.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade.
Yeah.
They got to upgrade.
Big time.
Yeah, they need to upgrade that stadium.
It is amazing. You know, the thing I remember, I was there for an October game. My buddies and I drove over maybe when we were like 21, 22 years old. So it's the first week of October, and you have one of those days where it's like 70 degrees, right? It's like 70 degrees. And then all of a sudden, Joique, you get inside that stadium, and because it's right on the water, temperature dropped like 30 degrees. I'll never forget that. It was freezing in that place. It was absolutely freezing in that place. You know, because it's just like you're right on the water. All that wind comes in, froze my tail off. I think somebody brought in some toys, by the way. Is that what I'm seeing? Isn't that
We
cool?
got some toys in.
Way cool.
We saw her walking back and forth. What's up?
Oh my gosh!
What
Come
you
on
guys
in.
bring? Come on in.
Bring them.
No kidding.
You know,
Thank you. Come
Thank
on
you
up
so
here.
much. Come on
up
up.
here.
What's your names?
We're gonna put you
My
on.
name's Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Here you go, Caitlin. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, you can just talk into that. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
So you guys drove all the way down here to bring some stuff.
We did, from New Baltimore.
From New Baltimore. Seriously.
Joey broadcasted from my son's graduation party last year, so we had to come out and help Joey out.
Now listen, New Baltimore is embarrassing y'all out there, okay?
Yeah.
So all you communities, I'm gonna put the shout out to L-Town. I'm getting my L up right now. You guys better answer the bell. If they drove all the way from New Baltimore to help the kids out, you better all step up in the next few days. Got that?
Yes, so we challenge all of New Baltimore and Chesterfield to come on out.
Chesterfield, you hearing that?
You hear it?
You hearing that?
Well, you know, when we saw you guys, I saw them walking back and forth. Like you guys, you didn't know where to come in. So when you came in, did you meet our hostess? Was she nice to you guys?
We came through Lady Jane's.
Yeah, right, okay.
And they were super nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Everybody shout out to Lady James. Come out to Lady James. You
Props.
need a haircut?
Yeah, absolutely.
For
Now,
sure,
again,
for sure.
just a reminder, in case you're just joining us, our morning show's doing a great thing. They are filling the studio with toys. If you have some toys, bring them down while we're on the air. We'll talk to you like this, and most importantly, you get to take a picture with me.
Perfect.
You get to take a picture with Joique, okay? Who's getting who? That's what everybody wants. So anything you can do, and 1,000%, every penny that comes in, every toy that comes in is going to the kids. 1,000%.
No one's on payroll here.
Nobody's on payroll. You know, we had some kind people on our stream send some money via Venmo today as well.
did.
On my children's lives, every dime is going to go to the kids, okay? Not my kids, but some needy kids. So thank you for whatever you can do. And thank you to you guys as well. Seriously, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm a
People like
single
you.
mom,
Thank
but
you.
we can help the other kids.
Are you
For
really?
sure, really.
God bless. Can I? No, I was going to give you a hug, but I forgot. Can I do this instead? Social distancing stuff? All right. Now go get your picture with Joique. I
Let's
know
do it.
that's what you guys want. Make
Let's
sure
do it.
you go get your picture with Joique.
Yeah. No, you put it right there. Come
Look
on.
at that. How
Sit up
how
and over
cool
here, but
is
come
that?
on, just come get a picture. It's all good. But I really want a picture with you, Sean.
Yeah, right.
I got.
Let me read a couple things while they're getting the picture taken. Sean, I agree with you. JLA was a
much.
complete
That's so nice.
dump, especially the bathrooms.
Say so much.
Nick said, I hate that stadium. Nick, are you talking about
You guys have a good
Soldier
day. Thanks for
Field?
coming out.
You guys, thank you so much. Why am I talking into both mics, by the way? Now I can put this mic down. How's that?
Perfect.
Anthony said they should have renamed Cobo to Joe Louis Arena. Absolutely. Yeah, it would have been something nice like that. But yeah, you know what?
It still can happen.
Can I bring up? Somebody else asked a question. And I didn't get a chance to do it. We're coming near the end of the show. Man, it flew by today.
It flew by.
But a Candy Sells Homes Gaddy asked,
Oh, that's my mom. My dude.
"Is it really?
Yeah, that's my
mom.
mom.
What's up? Here's $1 million questions. Okay.
Okay.
College or pro football? which gets better attendance. Not just that. Let me take it a step further. Death not an option. Death not an option. What are you watching? College game or pro game?
Okay, so it's both.
We're going to have this debate tomorrow, but I'm intrigued to get his thoughts.
I'm going to give you a quick answer because we only have about 45 seconds. Before I got to college, right, before I got to the NFL, I would watch college. When I got to the NFL, I only watched NFL because I realized the talent, like, drop off from,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I realized that. So when I got to the NFL, I realized how much faster it was. But in college, growing up, it just seemed like the fans were more into the game.
There's nothing like being on campus on a Saturday.
Right. So,
I love it.
And so growing up, I love that energy. And so when I got to NFL, I realized how more intense the game was. I said, no, this is not what I thought at all.
Joique, when I'm not doing Wayne State, I love going up to Michigan State with my son and doing the tailgating thing. But I have a tradition for Wayne State games, and this goes back to when you were playing.
1 o'clock.
I park on one side of the stadium.
I got to cut you off. I'm sorry. I'm joking. No, go ahead.
Literally, I park on one side of the stadium, like the north side of the stadium facing the lodge.
Right.
And I always walk around the stadium to what is it, lot 17, where everybody's tailgating?
No idea.
Okay, it's a blast. I absolutely love it. Absolutely.
Oh, by the Mathi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so many guys from your era now have their own tailgates and their families and their friends.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like it. Nothing. It's just so cool to see so many familiar faces and members of the family. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Definitely.
All right, Corey with a K, thank you. Make sure you follow Corey E. Woods on Twitter. Thank you guys for the conversation as well. Come down, get a picture with Joique. Help out if you can.
Get a picture with Sean Baligian.
Yeah.
That's the real talent here.
L-Town will do it. But help out if you can with the toys. I think the guys in the morning are doing fantastic stuff. For everybody, see you tomorrow.